Brazil's Bolsonaro asks for names of vaccine-approving health officials to make their identities public despite death threats.
Here's a summary of the article.
Register now for free unlimited access to Reuters. Brasilia. Brazilian President Jair Bolsonaro said on Thursday that he has asked for the names of health officials that had approved COVID-19 vaccines for children in Brazil, saying he planned to make their identities public despite previous death threats. In late October, Brazil's health regulator, Anvisa, released a statement saying that 5 of its directors had received death threats over the possible approval of COVID-19 vaccinations for children aged between 5 and 11 years old. The agency granted such approval for the Pfizer shot on Thursday. Anvisa said it had reported the emailed threats to police and prosecutors. Register now for free unlimited access to Reuters. Come in a live weekly broadcast on multiple social media platforms. Bolsonaro said he does not interfere in Anvisa's internal affairs, but had asked for the officials' names so that the public could come to its own judgments. Bolsonaro has consistently cast doubt on the efficacy and safety of coronavirus vaccines and sharply criticized all forms of social distancing. His handling of the coronavirus pandemic, which has claimed over 618,000 lives in Brazil, is widely cited as a reason his popularity has plummeted this year.
This post received a score of 1900, with an upvote ratio of 96%. Here are the top comments in response to this article.
Does this guy wake up every day in the morning thinking, how can be more of a dick than I was yesterday?
I mean, he is a military dictatorship advocate in a country suffered under military dictatorship while arguing previous junta ain't harsh enough, as in they don't kill people with death squads. That seemed to fit the bill years ago.
Well, they voted for him, so by logical extension they asked for this. Fucking idiots.
Brazilian population is incredibly conservative by any standard. It's good to remind that he won the presidency by popular vote, so yeah. People in Brazil are mostly really like that, sadly.
Not true at all. Most people only voted for him because they hate PT. Most of them fled by now, only the idiots remained.
What? Dude's hitting second place on the polls consistently. As a Brazilian, I can safely say that he is still pretty popular. Especially among middle-class voters.
The most embarrassing thing about this whole fiasco is how, back in 2018, he polled best with those who were enrolled in or had higher education degrees. Brazil is shit because the moment people climb the social ladder, they start thinking of themselves as better than those under them, and want to keep the lower classes stuck there.
I absolutely agree with your last statement in particular. I've seen it happen myself.
It's a vicious cycle that always ends up in brain drain, with the most empathetic and bright minds leaving the country, the ones best placed to change its paradigm. However, we can only save ourselves, at the end of the day. If only we had more than one life, maybe people would feel better fighting to transform the place they live in, rather than just ditching it for a place where their ideals and skills are treasured. Brazil's government, state and federal, is full of civil servants that keep doing their jobs regardless of Bolsonaro. For example, despite a slow start, Brazil has a higher vaccination rate than the US.
Part of it is thanks to the mafia too. Which is surreal.
Who they gonna sell stuff and bribe if they all die from corona? You need to maintain a potential market.
That, but they also did everything they could because all their families were concerned, including the boss's family.
For the good of the planet, someone needs to take Jair Bolsonaro and shove him back up Trump's asshole where he came from.
And Duterte. And then to ducking them up Putin's ass. Could we make a bit of room for Scott Morrison in there, do you think?
And Erdogan. Lukashenko. She.
This video was automatically created by Reddit to speech. The article and comments in this video were selected from Reddit according to their upvotes, and any paraphrasing was performed by smmry.com, without any human intervention.